afternoon. This is Sandy with Rae-Bon Sew Quilt Shop, and I'm here in our thread aisle. One of the requests we had was to talk about thread in one of these posts, and we appreciate your comments and asking for what you want so we know what to give you. So we're going to talk about thread today. So I'm over here by the Floriani thread, and you can see all the beautiful colors. This is 100% polyester. I get asked every now and then if you can use it in sewing projects. You can use it in sewing projects as long as you're doing like top stitching. I would not use it as a construction thread, but it is a beautiful thread for machine embroidery. And what I also like is they put out this fabulous thread chart. So you can have this at home and match up what color you need, or if you're running low on a color. So it has actual thread samples on this chart, not just a little cardboard color, which is always hard when you're matching on paper rather than the actual thread. So great product. Thread charts are $40, but they're well worth the investment, especially if you do a lot of machine embroidery. It's great to have that in your hands. So I'll just set that here for now. Then as we move over here, we're going to go into serging thread. So this bank here is all of our serging thread from here over. You can use this as construction thread too. It is 100% spun poly, and it's excellent, color fast, it's durable, and it's got lots of beautiful colors. It is a 40 weight thread. Then we move over into,
oh,
wow,
it fell.
See how easy these fall off.
It fell up from above.
The shelf. Timber. Okay, so that's a little humor portion of this little episode. So this is our long arm thread. So quilting thread for the long arm. Again, beautiful colors. Easily to get it mixed up with the serger thread because they're so close in color. But we've got single colors. There's some beautiful variegateds here. And it's kind of funny the way the variegateds get spun on a spool. These are exactly the same two colors, but they look like they're going to show differently because of the way they're spun, but they're actually going to look identical on your quilt. So beautiful colors there. Again, it's 100% coarse spun polyester. It's also a 40 weight thread, 3,000 yards on a spool there. Above that, we have our bob and fill threads. So for machine embroidery. So these are our 60 weight threads. So if you have a sewing embroidery combo machine, this is the 90 weight if you have an embroidery only machine. We've got some wash away thread, the Vanish by Superior. We have it in 2 sizes. We also have invisible thread in clear or smoke, and then also in a gray or white from Wonderfill. Very nice fine thread. These are, I don't see the weights off the top of my head here, but very thin invisible thread. It is awesome. It's great for applique as well because you don't see those stitches in it at all. Then we have, fun for Halloween or any time of the year really, glow in the dark thread. So this will turn kind of a yellow in the nighttime.
I know the glow in the dark thread is really fun with the glow in the dark fabric we have. We've got some people that have said they're doing projects with that.
Also we have fusible thread. So if you want to fuse something together and not have to stitch it, or I guess you're stitching it, but not have to glue it or use Wonder Tape or whatever, you can use fusible thread. And then we have pre-wall bobbins. These are class 15, so it'll work in the majority of our machines. And also for serging, we have woolly nylon thread. So with this thread, when you run it through your loopers, it kind of spreads out and gives you a nice thick fill in there. It's very fun in the serger. Then we move over to our sewing threads here. We'll talk about these a little bit. We have Mettler and Aurifil. So the Mettler is 100% cotton mercerized, 100% mercerized cotton thread. What the mercerizing process means is that it's heat resistant, reduces shrinkage, and is extra strong. So that is a 50 weight 2-ply thread. So 50 weight means it's very nice and thin for piecing, and the 2-ply means how many threads are wrapped together to make that spool of, or that ream of thread. And then in the Aurifil line, that's also a 50 weight 2-ply. Aurifil is an Italian thread. It's much finer so it produces less lint, and you can get more on a bobbin at one time. A lot of piecers love the Aurifil thread because your seams are very fine and small. So even though they're both 50 weight cottons, you get a little finer seam because this is a little finer woven thread. And then in the Aurifil, we have lots of colors here, but we have even more colors in our box set up here. So this, I can't remember how many spools are in here, but you can quick count them, seeing them on there. But lots of great assortment of colors in that. Then we'll move around the corner here. We're kind of going half back and forth. So I love the look of the frosted matte threads from Madeira. We also have frosted matte threads from our new embellished line on the other side of the store. But I love the look that the matte thread gives you. It's a nice, smooth, soft look. No shine to it, but sometimes you just want that look on there. So we have that in a variety of colors here on the spool, and then over in the embellished side we have that in cones. A lot more color selection over in the embellished line. The Wonderfil Pearl Cotton, the Eleganza line, this is a great thread for hand piecing or hand stitching. Hand stitching. It also goes great in the looper of your sergers. So there's a great technique with most of our baby lock sergers will do it. You put the Eleganza in the looper, and then you stitch over water soluble stabilizer, and when you pull that stabilizer back, it looks just like you did the hand blanket stitch on something. So that is a great thread for that. Lots of beautiful colors. It's color safe. It's washable up to 90 degrees. And then we move back into embroidery threads. So you kind of got to go back and forth across the aisle. So we have the Madeira Rayon threads, and then the Madeira Poly Neon. Poly Neon just means that it's a polyester thread rather than a rayon. So your polyester threads are going to be stronger than the rayons. They're going to be color fast. So the rayons are going to bleach out over time. If you throw it in bleach water, the color's going to go. The polyester never goes. It's there forever. So in my machine embroidery, I kind of use them interchangeable. Depends on the color I want. You get a little more of a shine with the rayon, a little flatter with the poly, but flatter yet with the mattes. In the Decora by Madeira, love this thread. Get some beautiful looks. It's a little, let's pull a pretty color here. You get a little thicker thread. It's got the little snap cap so you can, put the ends of your thread in so they're not hanging all over. But this one's a beautiful variegated thread, but it's thicker. It's a 12 weight thread, so it's great for top stitching. It's great for machine embroidery. Just make sure you're not filling small areas with that because it's a little thick for that, but great for outlining, great for Chapuntro or redwork type designs. Great in your serger as well. Again, that'd be a beautiful one for that blanket stitch I talked about before. Then we've got our LeMay Stylo thread. Love this. Learned about this when I went to a baby lock class in St. Louis once. So the LeMay Stylo gives your metallic thread a little more glitz to it as opposed to the regular metallics we have from Kingstar. So both great products. They both are super in your needles. They don't break. I've run them both on the long arm and in the serger, and they are a great thread either way. Usually you have trouble with metallics breaking and shredding, but these don't do that at all. In the middle section here, we have the fine line thread. So this is good for very small embroideries, very small lettering. It's a 60 weight thread. We also have a great color assortment over in the embellished area of the flawless thread, which is also 60 weight, great for small lettering, small designs. And then our new Quilters Select thread. I'm going to trade places with Jennifer over here. Our new Quilters Select thread. Love, love, love this thread. So this is a polycore thread. It's wrapped in cotton, so you get the strength from the poly and you get the look of the cotton. It's 80 weight thread, so when you're quilting, you get the definition of quilting, but the quilting doesn't jump out at you, and you get very, very fine piecing with 80 weight. I've been using this lately now, and I just love it. I've got a quilt in the shop here that I quilted with it too, and it was super fun, super easy to work with, and it just gives me that. I did a circle template with a Sew Steady ruler, so very nice to work with. You have to come and look at it. I was going to show it on film, but you know, it doesn't give you that real jump out of your face quilting, so you aren't really going to see it much on film. You have to see it in person.
And Jennifer ran it through the long arm too, so it works great in the long arm as well.
Perfect. Didn't know you'd use that. Perfect. All right, so the 2D thread is another one of my new favorites. So it's a variegated thread. I've used this for machine quilting. I've done machine embroidery. This is a little freestanding lace thing I did in machine embroidery. Super all around thread. I'm trying to think of what else. We've run this in the Sashiko. Worked really nice in the Sashiko machine as well. So this is a 50 weight thread. It's a 3-ply, so that means 3 staples were wrapped together to make the one spool of thread. It's got great strength. You can use it for top stitching, general sewing, piecing, quilting. So another thing I was going to mention that I left behind me there, thank you, Jennifer's going to hand it over. We have a great book, The Ultimate Thread Guide, learning to use what thread to use for what projects. Goes through all different properties of threads, what threads are made out of, how they make threads, and then in the back it shows the different brands of thread and their different properties, the different weights you have. So here's a page on Aurifil thread. So it's a great reference manual all about threads. So this would be a great addition to have as a resource in your sewing room. And it's only $15, so not a bad price on a book. All right, thanks for joining us. If you have things you'd like for us to talk to you about, please let us know, because we want to give you what you want to learn and what you want to know about. So let us know, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.